What's up, guys? So, most of y'all know my name's Quentin. My wife Sierra is the one that's doing the camera. This is Rowdy Christian Customs, also Rowdy Boys TV. We're kind of both here. We're a shop and we're a YouTube channel. This right here is a truck that I picked up for trading for a set of wheels and some shocks that I had laying around. I had traded a couple impacts a year ago for some wheels, and that I was going to use on my other f-150, and I did for a while. Got bored with them, and then I had some shocks that I picked up out of the garbage at one of the places that I worked for. They're still good. I think they only had 20,000 miles on them. Somebody wanted a lift kit, but this guy was wanting to go back to stock and put some smaller tires on his truck. So this is where this came in. It's a 1997 Ford F-150. It's got a 4.6 liter in it, a 5-speed manual, and full-wheel drive, high and low, manual transfer case. Can't talk. But yeah, so this is the fun thing. This is not what it looked like when we picked it up. My wife can confirm it's not what it looked like. Used to have running boards on it. Had a muffler on it that made it like you could barely hear it running. Just crazy for how old this truck is. The truck gets great gas mileage for what it is too, which is kind of insane to me. But we went ahead and took them old grandpa running boards off and all that fun stuff. So we're gonna walk through kind of the build plan and the mindset behind what this truck is to me and what our plan is with it. So when we picked it up, it had scratches all over. A lot of it was clear coat scratches, but as you can see down the bedside, it has a lot of real scratches too. I just wanted something that was gonna make the paint pop again, and not in a really great way, just in enough way that it doesn't look like crap, right? So, gloss clear spray paint from Walmart, believe it or not, can bring stuff like this back to life, and it doesn't look terrible. We're gonna repaint this fender. I'm gonna try and get the closest paint I can from Walmart. This is going to be a budget off-road truck. I need a budget off-road truck that I can go do off-road recoveries in. And this thing's geared super low, so it'll be great for that. I also want something that I can use as a work truck. So we're kind of touching both sides here. Just because I want to keep the miles off my personal F-150. As you all know, the 5.0 Coyote, the thing's rowdy. That's why I want this as a work and off-road truck. Simply, it's rusty. I mean, all of it is rusted, but making it look a little bit better here and there is what's good. So there used to be a plate that sat up in here, and they used to have a winch right in the middle of it, and it went over this toolbox. This toolbox came with the truck. I'm guessing they used it to pull folders up in here or something like that, I'm guessing because of the dent in the tailgate. But I had a headache rack laying around from one of my old project trucks. I'll see if I can't put a picture of that in the video. It was my first truck that I had, and this roll bar, believe it or not, saved me and my brother's life in a rollover. So it's back on this truck, so serving another life's purpose, right? We've got stock baby tires. I mean, I think these are 25s. They're itty bitty, but that's okay. Going over to this side, it's okay because we're changing. Can't have small tires around here. Going over to this side, apparently some point in time, somebody broke a mirror and then decided to spray paint it blue and got it on the truck. I'm gonna have to figure out a good way to get that off. And then we're gonna do tow mirrors, because tow mirrors, right? This thing sticks out way too far. This is the new tip don't look at that. This is the new tip I just welded on. There's a clamp up there that isn't clamping correctly. I gotta get a new clamp. All right, so ignore that. New tip I just welded on because I cut out the exhaust, which is right there on the ground. By exhaust, we hated that thing. It was quiet. So the reason why this is sticking out so far is because when I welded it on, this was floppy, and so I welded it to make it look good while it was floppy. And then I decided that I was just going to take a bar and weld the bar up in there and push that in, so that way it's not flopping down the road, and that way it's out of the way for off-road conditions. This truck's going to get a lift kit. I don't know when. At some point when I'm done getting high-centered on things, it's going to get a lift kit. This long box makes this truck look like it has a super long wheelbase, but it doesn't. It has about the same wheelbase as an extended cab short bed. So pretty stubby wheelbase. It'll be good to get over obstacles, and the fact that it's manual, I doubt that we're going to have a real big issue of getting stuck. If we do, I'm going to have max trax boards and winches in the front and the rear. It's going to get all kitted up with lights and stuff because you know me, I have a tism for lights and trucks, right? So the goal is I have a winch mount bar. I don't know what it's off of. I get stuff all the time and then I just make it work because I'm resourceful and I don't like spending money, just like the next guy. So if you pay attention to this channel, you can probably make stuff work and get outside for fun for cheap, because all of us are broke, let's be honest. Not all of us are the big YouTubers that make like $1 million a year. It's crazy out here. This bumper's going bye-bye. I hate it. Some people love them. I hate them. They got like this weird, like, I don't know, dolphin, sea fin, whatever thing going on in front of us. It looks terrible. It reminds me of like the Stingray Corvettes, but in a wrong way. So we're going to take this thing off. We're going to weld and put together our own big beefy off-road bumper for it that's going to have a winch in it. It'll be great. We're also going to do big tow hooks, so that way when we inevitably get this thing stuck, we can pull it out. So here's what I've decided, because I had a tire sitting around and it still has the sticker on it. I have decided to go with these. These are an Ironman All Country MT. They've got some big meaty lugs. This'll do great off-road. They are a softer tire, so it'll do good for pretty much everything. Mud, trails, rocks. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. They're still a pretty cheap tire. I mean, brand new, they're running about $250 or $200 to $250 a piece. Obviously, I'm going to try and find 3 more as cheap as possible. If you know a place I can get some, leave them down in the comments. But yeah, brand new, still has a sticker on them. I got this one for free from a friend who it was just starting to get out of date. So yeah, those are what we're going to put on. Actually, I'm going to put that up against the truck so y'all can see it. I put it up against the truck and I was like, man, that looks so good. And the cool thing about this tire and this size is that we don't have to change out the wheels. Eventually I'd like to do a different wheel because I hate chrome wheels, and who knows, I might rip these off and paint them for all I care. But I don't, like I said, budget build, budget off-road, work truck, fun, right? This is the truck that, like, if I end up getting it stuck or if I end up hurting it bad, working it or off-roading it, it's not the end of the world. I have another vehicle to fall back on, right? But this is going to be that everything will be okay truck, right? So that's the plan. Is getting these big bad boys on here. I think it'll be fun. I'm gonna try and do a small series on repainting this truck with Walmart paint, so that way you still have a clear coat, you still have a base layer, you still have all that fun stuff. So it's still gonna last. It's just not gonna last like 20 years. It's gonna last 5, right? Which is all we're really worried about. This truck has 230,000 miles on a 4.6 liter. I'm not thinking it's gonna last forever. My goal with this truck is to drive it until the engine goes out of it, and then I'm gonna scrap it for parts and take the transmission and transfer case out of this and put it in my Ranger, whenever that might be. For now, I'm gonna stick with the transmission transfer case that's in my Ranger and go with a 3.0 motor. When time comes, we're gonna pull the transmission and transfer case out of this and put a 5.0 in that. But yeah. So that's the plan. Tell me what y'all think. I don't know what kind of performance upgrades I want to go with yet. I don't really know what kind of lift kit I want to go with yet. I'm a big fan of rough country. I've done a lot of rough country lifts, but just tell me what you're thinking. But I do want to show you guys the interior, because the interior on this is insane. I'm going to steal that camera from you, girly. Thank you. Everybody say thank you to my beautiful wife. We love her. So this truck has an extremely clean interior. Very, very, very clean. Very impressive for the age of it. As you can see, it has 230 some odd miles on the dash. But it's got that 5-speed and it's got that 4-wheel drive on the floor, which means that it's going to do great off-road. I'm going to have her go over where the exhaust is. I'm going to let y'all hear this thing start up. most impressive thing about this truck that I love, that most people will understand, is that when you get an old vehicle, even if it's 15 years old, what's the thing that has the most issues typically? This is gonna make everybody laugh. The radio. Radios and anything old typically suck. They don't work, especially these old Ford radios they're just known to have issues. I mean, the speakers blow, the radio itself won't shut off, won't turn on. The radio on this truck works great. We've been listening to it for the last 2 days that I've had the truck, and it's been amazing. Even her '05 Explorer that we have, that I've done the build on, and we'll do an update series on that. It has radio issues. It fried a radio, quite literally. So, yeah, I was pretty excited about that. So it's the little things, right? The little wins. But yeah, that's the plan for this truck. I'm debating on doing side toolboxes on it, so we can haul more stuff, more chains, more stuff like that. Tell me what y'all think. Give me ideas, man. I love ideas. I'm all for it. And if you won't give me ideas, I'm sure I'll figure something out, but probably ain't gonna be something you like. But yeah, I think eventually, if we get up enough subscribers and we want to do something crazy, I'd be down to write everyone's name on the tailgate and maybe even on the hood. So if y'all want to be a part of this now, subscribe now, leave a comment, and we'll start writing names on the tailgate and on the hood. Alrighty, what's up, y'all? So, doing some more work on the F-150. Took the shifter out of it because the shift knob that was on it just wasn't working, because the knob kept coming off, and that wasn't working for me. So there was a shoulder on the shifter, and I cut it down to that shoulder. So the shoulder's off now. So now it's just straight stick. Okay. Now, I have a snap-on handle for a grinder. Has threads on it and everything. Found me a nut, and it just so happens that they thread into one another. And it's a locking nut, so I know that the shifter isn't going to come off. Now, I don't know if any of y'all have ever taken the shifters out of one of these, so I'm going to explain it to the people that don't. So, so you'll take this boot off, right? And inside of there is this guy. Ooh, that's hot. I forgot that was hot, and I put it right on my crotch. Anyway, I'm stupid. So you have that guy. Now, this has a cam in it, as you can see. That cam goes in one way. And typically the nut is on this longer part. And then there's a short little piece on the backside. So it looks like it's just a stud going through. It's not. So you can see my vice grips marks. I had to figure this out. The nut you'll find is on this side. When you get it, you put the nut on the back side and tighten it, and it pulls it out. I didn't know that. I was an idiot. So I'm going to have to rechase these threads. It'll be fine. But, point is, got this guy. We're going to weld it onto that, and we'll have ourselves a fancy dancy snap-on shifter. I'll let y'all see what happens when I'm done. Okay, so we're using a little crappy flux core welder, because that's all I have, but it's on there. We're going to get it cleaned up, and then we'll install it in the truck. So we got her ground down. It looks pretty good now. You're not going to see that anyway. I'm going to paint it and then throw it in the truck. Alright, y'all. It is done. Oh. She's been painted black. And the new shifter is in. Got that beautiful Snap-on logo on it. Great texture. I mean, it makes it so easy to run through the gears. And that red looks so good. So, yeah, there we go. USA, baby.
Yeah.